Hello everyone and welcome to Nicosia. So we've been living in Nicosia for around 6 months now, and it is an incredibly unique city, full of incredible architecture, interesting museums and amazing history and more. And in this video I'm not only going to show you the best things to do in the old city centre, but I'm also going to show you some of the things on the outskirts and then head into the Troodos Mountains to explore the district of Nicosia as a whole. But let's begin the video with the old city centre. So you may know that Nicosia is a divided city with a buffer zone going straight down the middle. And this dividing line goes right through the old city centre, meaning that you will need a passport to cross from one side to the other. So I'll go into a little bit more detail about that later on, but for now, let's start on the south side with some of Nicosia's incredible museums, including this one right here. So this is the Cyprus Museum, also known as the Archaeological Museum, and it's the largest and oldest of its kind in Cyprus. The collection here is so impressive and a really great place to start your journey around Nicosia. Another great place to visit is the Agia Leventis Gallery, an amazing art gallery home to a collection of over 800 paintings from Cypriot, Greek and European artists. And also the Folk Art Museum, with many interesting artifacts housed inside what used to be the Archbishop's Palace. Now, 2 of these museums are technically located just outside of the old city, so let's head towards it now. Now you will instantly know when you arrive at the old city itself, because you will see these, which the old city is completely surrounded with. These are the Venetian Walls. And walking along them and seeing their unique shape is definitely a must-do when exploring Nicosia. They date back to 1567 and were built by the Venetian rulers of Nicosia at the time in order to defend against Ottoman invasions. Sadly, they weren't very effective though when the Ottomans did eventually invade in 1570, but they are still standing to this day and they are an incredibly unique site here. So as we venture further into the old city, you will see things like this, which is Famagusta Gate, another iconic location dating back to the Venetian era. You'll also see attractions such as Nicosia Aqueduct and the Liberty Monument, just a 2-minute walk down there. So I absolutely love exploring these old city streets. They're just so unique and you never know what you're going to find. And what better way to see it than from above? So that's what we're going to do right now. So this is Shacolas Tower Museum and Observatory. It gives you amazing panoramic views of the city, and you can see these old photographs giving you an idea of the Nicosia of the past as well as the one you currently see. So now let's move on to our next stop. This is a museum displaying a plethora of interesting artifacts inside an old Turkish manor that dates back to 1793. You can explore this beautiful central courtyard that you can see behind me whilst here, and lots of many interesting artifacts you can also find. Okay, so this is Eleftheria Square right now, the exact location where the old city meets the new Nicosia. It was built in 2021 and it is an absolutely beautiful contrast between the 2 parts of Nicosia, in my opinion. A real perfect connection between the old and the new. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Nicosia is split down the middle by a buffer zone. Right now we are walking down Ledra Street, the main street in the old city, with many places to eat, drink, relax and shop to your heart's content. At the end of this street is a crossing point where you can cross to the north side of this city. But don't forget your passport, because you'll need it to cross. We are now in the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, a country recognized by nobody except for Turkey. And it's a very strange feeling because it feels exactly the same as the south side, but something is just slightly different. There are some beautiful places on this north side of Nicosia, including this, which is Büyük Han. This was originally built in 1572 and today is home to lots of great stores to browse around and some lovely restaurants to eat at. There is also this, which is a very unique site as it is a former Christian cathedral that has been converted into a mosque. But it's so interesting to explore these streets, but also very sad to think about all of the people's lives that have been affected by this divided Cyprus. Okay, so now I want to show you just one more location within the city before we head up into the Troodos Mountains, and I'll show you some amazing things up there. But this one is a little bit further away, so we're just going to hop in the car and drive for around 10 minutes to get there. And so here we are, and what better than a nice relaxing break after exploring some of those busy city centre streets. So we are here in one of our favourite parks in Nicosia, and this is Athalassa. It's really great for relaxing, exploring, hiking and bird watching even. There are so many birds here all year round, especially if you walk around the lake, which is our favourite thing to do. And if you go high up, you can even see some incredible views over Nicosia as well. It's just a very beautiful place and so peaceful and picturesque. And it's such a large area, so yeah, if you like walking, you can walk to your heart's content here. And there's always a beautiful view around every corner.
So now let's head out of the city and into the Troodos Mountains for some more beautiful natural scenery within the district of Nicosia.
So yes, here we are now in the middle of the mountains, very close to Nicosia. We're actually around a 45-minute drive from the city centre itself. And this is the first hike that we're going to go on, but throughout it I'm going to tell you a really good selection of the best locations that you can see in these mountains here. So let's go on this walk first and see what we see. Bencheli, what a view. So we have just made it to a pretty incredible viewpoint, and as Ellie has just so perfectly said, you really wouldn't think this is Cyprus. I mean, just how green it is.
On the tree.
Let me tell you now about a very unique thing to do very close to here, and that is a semi-deserted village known as Fikardou. This village is very unique because, as I said, it's semi-deserted. Technically there are no residents living in this village, but it is still extremely well preserved. So believe it or not, this is Cyprus right now, and it is hailing. I don't think many people expect this, but if you come in winter you get a totally different landscape, just completely green and hail.
So now we're driving onto another beautiful hike that's around a 20-minute drive from the city of Nicosia.
So here we are now at the foot of what I'd say is pretty much the most impressive landmark on this hike. So believe it or not, this is just the beginning of our nature trail, because if we follow this river up, of which there is a footpath by the side of it, who knows what else we'll see. So here we are at our second viewpoint. We've just climbed even more stairs. It's a very up and down hike. We've just been following the river, which, like many of the rivers in Cyprus, actually originates in Troodos, which is a little bit further away, maybe around an hour from the city itself, but definitely worth a visit. Obviously from there you can hike up Mount Olympus, but there are so many walks to do around the Troodos area. Two of our favourites are two incredible waterfalls, one of which Caledonia Waterfalls and another one Millomeris Waterfall.
If you do want to see these locations more in depth, by the way, please do feel free to click the link to my full Cyprus playlist. It's at the end of this video and down in the description for even more ideas of amazing things that you can do all over Cyprus.
Ready to go again?
Yes, I am.
Next, we headed on to some very unknown and unique ruins that are hidden somewhere in these mountains. But first, we had to find them.
I think they're up there. We just have to figure out how to get. Okay, so we are close. We believe the ruins are somewhere over there, but we just parked up here, and small little church here. You'll find these all over Cyprus, so let's go and explore. Usually they've got great views. So yeah, now we're going to walk along this road and see if we can find these ruins. Here we go.
There it is.
So these are the ruins of Filani, one of the many old abandoned villages that you can find in Cyprus, and it's an amazing opportunity to see firsthand these relatively undisturbed remnants of buildings that were once in a bustling village. There is another abandoned village very close to Nicosia as well as this one. There are some incredible sights in and around this village, such as this church, and one of the houses is still remarkably well preserved. So as we were heading back home to Nicosia, we stumbled across this location, and even though it was completely unplanned, we just had to include it in the video.
It's starting to rain, so we're running.
Yep.
Before the hail begins again. Gotta get to the viewpoint. This is a perfect example of why you should explore these mountains. I mean, this isn't even really listed anywhere, but here we are at possibly the bluest lake, actually definitely the bluest lake I have ever seen.
And so it's finally time for the last location of this video, and what better than one of Cyprus's most famous trees.
Here we are,
Yep.
the giant olive tree. Oh, you could go inside it.
Oh my gosh, I can go inside the olive tree.
That is a big olive tree. So, this is it, the giant olive tree, sometimes often called the biggest olive tree in Cyprus. So its height is 6 meters and it is actually 800 years old, maybe even more, just to give you an idea of how incredible this tree is. And so that sums up our video. I really hope you enjoyed it and really got some great ideas for some of the best things that you can do in the city and region of Nicosia as a whole. Please subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Feel free to check out my full Cyprus playlist, and goodbye.